Okay, that's better. I hit the wrong button. Hello and welcome back to another live stream. It's kind of a surprise live stream. Wow, that text is small. Hey, Beast No, how's it going? Let's do this. So yes, this is a random live stream. Typically, I don't stream on Thursdays, but we got Ashes Reborn in the mail. I was not expecting to get this until probably, well, not this early. I ordered it, and Plaid had sent it very, very quickly. So Ashes Reborn is it's not an LCG, but it is a game that follows a similar model as the LCG system, where whenever you buy a pack, you know exactly what's coming in it. So it's not necessarily a collectible card game or a trading card game where you are getting a randomized distribution of cards in your packs. This is a known quantity when you do buy it. I played Ashes. This is Reborn. This is like the second edition of Ashes with different balance fixes and everything. I played the first edition probably, oh gosh, I don't want to, 10 years ago? Has it really been 10 years? No, there's no way. Maybe it was like eight years ago or so. And my life circumstances have changed. I don't necessarily have it's harder for me to get these types of games to the table. The head-to-head combative card games are just not something that I have a lot of space for and a lot of time to do. So when they announced the Red Reigns expansion, this is a cooperative / solo expansion for Ashes. And it takes it from like a PvP, a player versus player, to a PvE, a player versus environment system. And that made me very, very interested in it. Hey, how's it going? How's it going, JS? Yes. So it is a beautiful game that when I played it initially, there were games that I enjoyed the mechanics of more. Not saying I did not enjoy the mechanics, but the thing that always drew me back to Ashes is just how incredibly illustrated it is. It is a phenomenal looking game. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to be opening up the Ashes Reborn starter set, as well as the Red Reigns expansion. And Plaidhead does have a lot of other, I'm going to forget what they're called. Phoneixborn. They're called Phoneixborn, is like your main person that you embody in this game. So like in Marvel Champions, it's a hero. In Arkham Horror, it's a investigator. Yeah, the art is great. It's so cool. It's hilarious how small that text is on the screen. Oh well, it doesn't matter. But the Phoneixborn, they have a couple of different other Phoneixborns that are in like an individual pack that you can buy and play, and it's really fun because they all play differently. The mechanics of this game are really interesting as well. Are both boxes set up for PvE, or is the Ashes Reborn a bunch of player cards for PvP, and you can use them to play against Red Reigns in PvE? So Ashes Reborn comes with 6 Phoneixborn, as well as the cards that make up their decks, all the dice, all the tokens that you need to play the game. This game, if you buy this by itself, it's a 2 to 4 player game. There are rules for 4 player. I don't know. I have no idea if I'd recommend that, actually. The 2 players, what I always played, a head-to-head game. And this has 6 Phoneixborn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Phoneixborn. So that iterative type of combinations of head-to-head. Red Reigns comes with no player cards, but it comes with a new rule set and like the environment or the villain that you're facing and all of their activations, new dice for the villain and all of that. So you can take everything that is in this box and play it against Red Reigns. They have already said that I think they have already said that they're doing at least 3 of these, and depending on the reception of how Red Reigns goes, they will be doing more. But the big bad in this is called a Chimera, and so you're fighting against the Chimera, but you can fight with every single deck, and these are pre-con decks, or you can go in and play with the like a constructed deck, and then I guess the only thing that you I guess you probably could, but the only thing that you can't do in the PvE version is there's a draft mode where you can draft a deck and play, but I don't know how well that would translate to the PvE. So everything in this box is compatible with this. It's just taking it from a versus system to I probably shouldn't say that, a competitive head-to-head system to a cooperative, a 1 to 2 player cooperative experience. So let's break into it. I'm excited to see, because I was watching a couple of videos, and if we have time, which I think we will, I don't think it's going to take too long to unbox this. I want to try and fumble through a game at least. So it will be my first game. I read through all the rules. I watched a couple of videos, so hopefully I don't make too many rules mistakes, but you better turn off the stream now. But I do want to try and get through a game today, and the game may be riddled with mistakes, so I hope that you will forgive that if that is the case. But it is a game that I'm very excited about. So Ashes Reborn. It's also, this is really nice. The original core set. Oh, you got a good understanding of the rules. If you need some help, awesome. Thank you so much. Then yes, we will definitely get through a game today then. The original game was a white box, which I think I prefer the white box aesthetic a little bit more. That being said, I mean, I think this is very, very pretty. But I actually traded my this is weird. It's in shrink. The tokens are in shrink. That's interesting. When we switch to the game, I'll fix the chat text size so it's a little bit bigger. But I traded my collection of ashes, and it was sad to see it go. And I traded it just probably about a couple, I don't know, half a year or so before they announced this Reborn set. And playing it very casually, oops, lost a token. Playing it very casually, I did notice some balance issues with some of the Phoneixborn, which were addressed in this updated version. And so that's also really exciting to hear if you are interested in like the competitive side of the game. But we've got all of these tokens. They're status tokens. I probably don't need to punch all of these, but we've got the status token. These are exhaustion tokens. And so there are abilities that will cause you to exhaust, or if you attack or if you defend and counter, you will get exhausted. And then that kills the benefit for the rest of the game. Well, and then this is first player. We'll punch those later. That's not super interesting. Okay, so the entire mana system, the entire magic system of this game is based around these dice. And your Phoneixborn will have, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm like remembering everything now. So these are your Phoneixborn. These are the 6 precon decks, and each one of them plays a little bit differently. We'll figure out which one we are going to play, but a lot of them lean into different parts of the game, just like you would kind of expect with any type of game like this. But all of them run with, I think both of these are like dual sphere decks, if I'm using Lord of the Rings terminology. Decks that come in and they have 2 different magic systems. That means 2 different color of dice. And so most of these will have, I just saw one. Yeah. We'll just open this guy. So this guy's initial precon, you're right. Okay, cool. And you can go mono dice, monocolor dice, and JDS. I don't want to make the assumption. Are you JS from Discord? You have two of the numbers. I'm gonna call you JS if you are. But each one of these has, yep, okay, cool. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, so each one of the dice have different symbols and different they have the same distribution of those symbols. So the top tier symbol is going to be like the ultimate, the highest. It can be used for any symbol below it, and it's going to be a 1 out of 6 size of the dice. Not sure why it's different. Okay, cool. So the top symbol is going to be paying for your more expensive cards, your more powerful cards, but it also has the flexibility of being used for lower tier dice. The middle is same, can be used as the lowest, and then the lowest tier is a common dice face across all of the different magic, or the different magic types. And so the bottom here is just this triangle elder wand, or Deathly Hallows symbol type situation going on, that can be used for any basic type of die. Do players typically play with the pre-made decks, or is construction generally preferred? I would assume that in like a competitive setting, construction is always going to be preferred in a game like this, just because I mean there's always going to be efficiencies that you can do in a game. That being said, the precons are very, very fun. At least in the first edition. I'm sitting here opening the second one, so I can't necessarily vouch for that. But from what I've seen, they're very similar. You love playing the precons. There are 28. There are 28 precons. Oh my goodness! I don't think I realized that. That's insane. The construction is I think a really deep part of the game, because not only are you constructing how many cards you want to do and what cards you want to be putting in, and each mage, or not mage, Phoneixborn has like a set of cards that they have specific to them. But so not only are you constructing that, you are also constructing how many dice of each color you want to be putting in. Hey Jay Douglas, thanks for the follow. So in all the precons, you run with 10 dice. And all the precons split that half and half. So whatever Cole is, it's going to be a blue, it's going to be one of these illusion, or not illusion, it's going to be natural magic and this black magic, ceremonial magic. So Cole, his deck is made for these two types of magic, and you split it down the middle. You run 5 of the black, 5 of the blue. However, in a constructed format, you get to choose what number, and you can run 8 blue or 2 black. And so there's just a whole nother level of depth when it does come to deck construction here. 28 is crazy. I like the idea of simply grabbing a deck and playing, but constructed is cool too. I think in my tenure when I played the original run of the game, I started to do constructing there at the very end, but I got a lot of mileage just out of the precons, and I had the precons in maybe 4 of the built decks, because they started coming out with some mono colored dice, and then they added new dice. I assume that they have different magic dice in some of the expansions as well. But the other thing that I want to talk about before we start looking at some of the cards is the kind of the round system. Ashes is built and carried out in like micro turns. There are 3 new magic types. Okay, cool. So there's the, I guess 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 7 total magic: Divine Sympathy and Time. I just remember there was one in the original that was like a white with gold color, and it was so pretty. It was so beautiful, but it's just so fun. Okay, so let me find these tell you what to do cards. That's Divine. Nice. They're so pretty. I remember her being crazy. I also had a couple of promos now that I'm remembering it. They had promo Phoneixborn, which were fun. Okay. Actually, before we dive into the round structure, let me talk about kind of the anatomy of this card. So name, the title, the health point is here. So he has 15 health, meaning that in like a competitive sense, if you ever reduce the Phoneixborn's health to 0, you win the game. 15 is his health, and then in the PvE sense, the Chimera is going to be attacking and trying to damage your Phoneixborn. You hit 15, you lose. You have 6 battlefield. That means how many units you can have on that battlefield. So that's a lever that they can pull. So Aradel here can have 8, whereas Cole can only have 6. So it's another balancing mechanism. Spellboard is how many active or ready spells you can have. These are in this game. You're going to have characters. You're going to have like I don't quite know what they're called. Minions, allies. I can think of all of the all of your allies. You can have X number based on here, as well as ally. Okay, cool. Thank you. As well as the spell board, which is going to be how many ready spells you can have, which are similar to like supports or upgrades in Marvel. So they will do something, exhaust, and then next turn you can do something. On your turn, where was I? Yeah. On your turn, Ashes is kind of a game carried out over like micro turns. So it's a very fast back and forth type game, which I very appreciate. I very appreciated that in the competitive sense, because I was playing at the time like Summoner Wars, which is another game by Plaid actually, but it was a game that did not have those micro turns. You look at games like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh, or a lot of the other trading card games where a turn can be very drawn out. Not saying that's a bad thing, but it is a nice change of pace. Wow, I cannot get this thing open. It is a nice change of pace to have like these micro turns. And so on your turn, you will perform one main action. You have to perform a main action. One of the main actions is passing. And if you pass, then your opponent gets to go until they pass. You can perform one main action, and you have the option of performing one side action. The main actions are going to be anything from playing a card to attacking to X, Y, or Z, where the side action are a little bit more rare. And you can play like a side action cost. You can activate a dice power, or you can meditate. What I really liked about another thing that I liked about this game is it is a dice-based system. Now you are rolling a significant number of dice over the course of the game, so your randomized chance is mitigated slightly with just the sheer amount of dice that you're rolling. But sometimes, you can roll and it's going to be coming all up as your basic magic. So you can meditate. Meditate is you can discard any number of cards from your hand or the top of your deck. And the number of cards you discard, you can set a dice in your pool to any face. And so that's just a way to change and manipulate your dice in order to do exactly what you need to do. And again, your highest tier dice can always be used for a lower tier. And so you can sit here, set these up. That's a side action, meaning that you can take your main action. Side actions can be taken before or after your main action phase. So like, hey, I'm going to meditate, change this, which is now going to allow me to play a card. So much better than just a reroll when you meditate, like Star Wars Destiny was. Oh my goodness, that could be very, very tough. Yep. Ugh. So that is kind of your turn. Main action, optional side action, pass it back to the next player. Main action, optional side action, pass it back until you both pass, and then you go into like the recovery phase, and then there are additional rules for the recovery phase. Very, very simple back and forth, but like simple rule set, very high strategy, which is what I crave. That's the kind of good stuff. So we talked about this. Now looking at his ability, it has this iconography here, the star type symbol. That's a side action. And so if we wanted to, we could perform a main action and then perform slash. Slash is a side action. It's discard one card. Choose a player, deal 1 damage to a target unit they control, or deal 1 damage to their target Phoneixborn if they control no units. So you can discard a card and deal a damage. A lot of the units are 1 to 4 health would be my estimation. So 4 life, 1 life, 1 life, 1 life, 2 life, 2 life, 2 life. So 4 could be pretty significant. That is opposed to like Aradel here. So it's still a side action, but the cost of the side action is an exhaustion. And so you would take a exhaustion token and place it on her, as well as pay a leaf from your nature magic, I think it is nature magic, and then it says deal 2 damage to a target unit. So it's a way to balance. It's just like they have a lot of like little levers that they can pull in order to balance the game, and so that's just, I think, really, really cool. So Cole is we said nature and ceremonial magic, and so all of his cards are going to have a cost in the top. So 100 blades here. This is his specific action. Sorry, I saw like a weird printing. The art is amazing. It really is, and that's really what drew me into the game. Like, the art is absolutely phenomenal, and it's so pretty. Like, I feel weird handling these. I need to get them in sleeves. Okay. I'm so pumped about this because we haven't even like gotten close to what all this game does, and that's, oh, I'm so pumped. Okay, so like we're probably not going to go through every single card. I think we'll probably thumb through and look at some of these different Phoneixborn and just kind of get a feel for them, and then maybe we'll figure out which one we want to play through. How much PvE content is there? So Red Reigns is the only PvE content out. I think it came out a couple of weeks ago, maybe. So it's very, very, very new. They have said that they have this, that they will be printing more of it, and then they'll evaluate sales based on that. How many players? 1 to 2. Yep, for the PvE stuff. For the competitive stuff, it's 2 to 4. But let's look at these cards. So this is an action spell, meaning that it's a event card is the best terminology to compare it to, like Lord of the Rings, Arkham, or Marvel. So you play it from your hand as a main action. The cost is up in the top right. That symbol, that crazy looking star symbol, says it's a main action. So on your turn, your main action could be to play 100 blades. It's going to cost 2 basic mana, and that mana can be any color, right? So if you had the illusion fox and the nature toad here, you could use these 2 to pay for the 2 mana. It is not color locked, which is another nice thing about rolling low, is that or at least all the dice in the core set, I don't know if they've mixed this up, JS, in some of the other expansions, the bottom tier dice is always the same across all the dice, so you can always use the low rolls to pay for stuff like this. So it's going to cost 2 dice. So when you use your dice, you'll have your 10 that you've rolled. You'll take 2 of them out of your available dice pool, and then it says deal 1 damage to a target Phoneixborn, deal 1 damage to all opponent's units, draw a card. So that's his ability. So there's going to be a lot of different action spells. Hey, sheer boredom, how you doing? How you doing? Every basic magic type has 2 basic sides. Sweet, cool. So those are action spells. We got a lot of action spells, but then we have ready spells. Action spells are your events. Ready spells are your upgrades or supports that stay on the table and can be activated every round. So this card, like Chant of Revenge, is a ready spell. You can tell that by the name up here, and it goes onto your spell board. And so there are going to be, I think they are called ready spells. There are spells that you can play on allies that can modify the ally. Those may be called ready spells. JS, maybe. Yeah, okay. So this will tell you where to play it. So the Cole here, he has a spell board of 4, so I can play Chant of Revenge on my spell board. Chance of Revenge says after an ally you control is destroyed, place one status token on the spell board if it has no status tokens. And then as a quick action and exhausting it, remove one status token from the spell board to deal 1 damage to a target Phoneixborn. Alteration spells are like attachments. Yes. We do need a Dice Throne rematch. Yes, we do. We absolutely do need to do that. That'd be great. And so this is a way to get back after killing, but it's a ready spell. It goes on your board. One of the other things in JS, this is actually one of the things that I think I understand, is you can focus spells. So Strengthen here is a ready spell, goes on your spell board. It says focus 2. Now, whenever you play another copy of Strengthen, it does not take up an additional spot on your spell board. You actually play it on top of a previous played Strengthen, and focus 2 means that if you have played 2 additional copies, i.e. 3 copies of Strengthens, it gets an additional benefit. So this says Strengthen, it's a quick action, exhausted to add 2 to a target unit's attack value for the remainder of the turn. If you have the focus 3, then you add 1 more attack to that value for the remainder of the turn. So you're trying to get these built up, and I believe, and this is JS where I may need your help with rules, is that even if it doesn't have the focus, if I play another Chant of Revenge, can I focus that? Can I play that on top of a previously played Chant of Revenge, or only if it says focus? Then, so you have the ready spells that go on your spell board. You have the action spells. You can. Okay, sweet. Yeah. And each one of these is a different utilization. So you can exhaust this one. You can exhaust this one. So it's focus is just an extra benefit. Awesome. Yep. So you can include up to 3x of every single card in your deck. And that is, so that helps you with that low spell board of 4. There are reaction spells that say, like, you can play this after your Phoneixborn is getting attacked. It's dealt damage. It's dealt damage by a unit's attack. Prevent that damage being received. Deal 1 damage to the attacking unit for 1 top tier nature dice. And all of these cards that you see here, except for these 100 blades, can be included in any Phoneixborn's kit. Yes, worth noting, all 3 copies are considered to have the focus 2 ability at that point. Very good point, JS, is that this Strengthen, now every single one of them is +3 instead of +2 because we have focus 2 everything. So it's pretty sweet. It's pretty good benefit. But all of these can be mixed and matched if you're doing like a deck construction into any of these Phoneixborn's kits. There are going to be times where you want a specific type of magic in that kit. Specific, like we keep going back to, like Aradel here, she wants to use a leaf, so you probably want to be including nature magic dice in your kit and in her deck build, because then you won't be able to activate her ability if you don't have any nature dice, which means that you probably want to lean into nature dice. But like Cole here, he doesn't have any dice that are locking him in for his signature cards, right? They're basic dice or discarding cards. So he's a little bit more modular. You can play around with his deck build more. So we've got those, and this is where I get really excited. So we got these cards, which are our ready spells and their summon cards. So the ready spells are the summon cards each Phoneixborn has, and they are cards that bring in units from the battlefield. So let's talk about units real quick. Actually, we'll come back to these, but we've got 3 units in Cole's kit. You got the Anchor Knot, the Iron Worker, and the Hammer Knight. The layout of these types of cards: cost. So at main action, 1 of any basic die. Play him to your battlefield. He has throw 1 ability. When this unit comes into play, you can deal 1 damage to another target unit. Nice. He has an attack of 0. Or they have an attack of 0, 1 life, and recover 1. At the end of the round, recover is how much damage you will heal off of the specific unit. So kind of goes in does not able to attack, but does that immediate damage that cannot be retaliated against. And so this is the distribution of the cards. As you get better, like let's look at our Hammer Knight, then it's going to cost more, but it's also going to have better abilities. So this costs a top ceremonial, a medium nature, and then a bottom tier of any dice. Attack of 3, 4 life, recover 2. So 2 damage on the Hammer Knight. At the end of the round, it's going to come down to 0. Worth noting, you can attack with a unit that has 0. Okay. Yeah. These are all going to be parts of the game that I'm going to learn, and it's like, oh, maybe that is actually, especially like strengthen, right? You can strengthen the attack of 0, and now he has an attack of 2. That'd be an option where you could do that. The Hammer Knight says like aftershock. After this unit destroys a unit the opposing opponent controls by attacking, you can deal 1 damage to a target unit, and then do not place exhaustion tokens on this unit as a result of countering. This is where I want to talk about attacking. When you attack, you can declare attackers. You can declare attackers on a unit. You can declare, and JS, you may need to help me with this one. But okay, so like if you want to attack a unit on the battlefield, you can say the Hammer Knight's going to attack. Let's just say the Hammer Knight's going to attack the Anchor Knot. Your Phoneixborn, the opposing unit's Phoneixborn, could step in and take the hit. They can do that once per round. The Hammer Knight, actually, let's use the Ironworker, who has an attack 2, life 2, recover 1. So if we say I want to attack the Hammer Knight to the Ironworker, Hammer Knight does 3 damage. It will kill the Ironworker. Actually, let's say the Ironworker is attacking the Hammer Knight. Attack 2, life 4. It will not kill the Hammer Knight. So you can just take the damage from the Hammer Knight, and if Hammer Knight didn't have the alert ability, you have the option to counter. Even if it was going to kill the unit, you could still counter. So Ironworker is going to declare attackers on the Hammer Knight. Hammer Knight's going to say, I'm going to counter. They will deal damage simultaneously and then resolve if they die. The Hammer Knight, if you attack, you place an exhaustion token. If you counter, you also place an exhaustion token. Hammer Knight's ability states that if she is countering, she does not have to place the exhaustion token. So you don't really want to be targeting the Hammer Knight with too many attacks, because you're just going to get wrecked. And so that's kind of the how attacking works. If you attack a unit, there are allies in the game that have like the defender trait, which can step in front and take the hit. They're probably going to be a little bit higher on the defense stat, and so there will be reasons to do that. A defender is also able to take the attack of a Phoneixborn. This is where I start getting my memory starts leaving me on how attacking works, because there's a very specific way that you can attack and defend. Okay. Okay. Yep. So if 3 units are attacking, correct, your Phoneixborn can guard once per round, and a unit with the unit guard ability can also guard a unit being attacked. Any unit can block for the Phoneixborn. Alrighty. Units are always 1-to-1, and it can be any number of attackers against the Phoneixborn. Thank you. Yes. Awesome. So in this example, they have 3 attackers going against the Phoneixborn. The defending player says that they're going to step 2 in here. They do not need to have any special abilities to block for the Phoneixborn, and then the 1 attack, and then these will do the battle that I was just talking about. And so yeah. However, this mouse specifically has unit guard. So if you attacked 1v1 this rhino to this snake, the mouse could step in and take the hit. So that's kind of how damage works. Now that we've talked about allies, let's talk about, I think, my favorite part of the game. And that's these summon spells. So whenever a unit is destroyed, it goes to your discard pile. and you don't get to use it again. The Summon Iron Rhino are ready spells. This is a very expensive spell. So to put it down, it costs a main action and a mid-level nature dice. Then to activate it, you have to exhaust it and spend 6 basic dice. Insane. Very expensive because you only have 10 around. Place an Iron Rhino Conjuration onto your battlefield. So you'll see the difference in the backs. The conjurations that you bring to the table go in a different deck. And so whenever you exhaust this, you bring this out as an ally, and it functions the same as an ally, except when it's destroyed, it goes back into your conjuration deck. I believe, JS, correct me if I'm wrong there. And this guy is, huge. He has a 7 attack. He has a 4 life, recover 0, but he can, be summoned each time. And so you're not relying on the luck of drawing into him. You have the ready, and you can pull him every single turn. So pretty cool. This one specifically says Gigantic 1. This unit cannot be blocked or guarded by units with a life value of 1 or less. So he just runs over those units. Overkill 2. After this unit destroys a unit your opponent controls by attacking, deal 2 damage to that opponent's Phoneixborn. And then these also have focus cost. So if you focus 1, meaning you have 2 of these out here, reduce the activation cost of this spell by 1, meaning it's going to be 5. Focus 2, reduce it by an additional 1, so it's going to be 4. So I just really like this mechanism where you are not as attached to these conjuration units, because they come in, if they die, you bring them right back out. And so a lot of the deck build could be around, drawing this. And what I will say is that in Ashes, you set your starting hand. So there is no RNG in the opening hand, which I think really works, especially in this game. But you can pick a 1x of any card in your deck. So you can't start your hand with 3 summoned rhinos, but you can start the game with a summoned rhino in your hand. So you know that you will always have that in your hand, in your opening hand. And so then you shuffle, and in the refresh phase, you will draw more. But yeah, that's kind of the distribution, the anatomy of a deck. I assume that's the entire deck, but we're just gonna go through and touch on just a couple of these other decks, just to kind of get a feel for what they do before we dive in and take on our first game of Red Reigns. And if there is one that of these that seems interesting and you want to see in action, note that, and then we'll figure out if there's a consensus. So that is Cole. Let's go ahead and look at Maoni Viper. So she has 20 life. She's got a lot more life. She's got 20 versus 15. Her command strike is a side action. Exhaust 2 basic dice. Choose an unexhausted unit you control. Deal damage to a target unit equal to that of unit's attack value. So that's really freaking cool. Then she's like the big unit person. So this Summon Silver Snake is Silver Snake comes into play, and I mean it's such a pretty game. Oh gosh, this says consume after a unit an opponent controls. After a unit an opponent controls is destroyed, place 1 status token on this unit, and then it gets attack X, where X is the number of status tokens on this unit. So you wanted to get around, be eating stuff, and then the focus is when it comes in, it's getting status tokens, and then that is a conjuration. And then there are the Gilder, which are your unit guards, and so they can step in front of the snake, which I think thematically is hilarious. But the Gilders can step in front of the snake and protect it. They start building them up. Worth noting, there's a little number on the conjuration that tells you the max number of them you can have, like 1 silver snake allowed. Okay, I need to look at that. Oh, it's specifically on the unit. So here in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a 1 and a 2. Was that in the original run? It may have been. I just thought that there were more. And we've got a lot of oh, I remember this. Molten Gold was horrendous. Place 3 wound tokens on a target unit or Phoneixborn. Golden Veil, you can play this. So she's kind of the oh my goodness. I am having so many. Oh, look how pretty this is. Change 3 dice in your active pool to an active or to the side of your choice. It's so pretty. Such a pretty game. They changed the numbers like crazy. Used to have like 3 silver snakes. Okay, that's what I thought, because I remember having an absurd number of snakes on the battlefield. But I mean, like with the snake, because you can target a unit, your opponent may be wanting to target a unit, and we'll talk about how the AI targets units in Red Reigns. But you can have your Phoneixborn step in, and especially with Maloney, especially with Viper, she has 20 health, so she can step in and take a lot more of those hits than like Cole could, protecting her snakes to let them build up. I'm also okay. So Silver Snake is her specific ability, or her Phoneixborn card, and so she's all about status tokens, keeping people out there. She is a she's a pink. I'm gonna get these names right. So the ceremonial, which is black. Nature is blue. There's illusion, which is like the purple. And there's charm magic, which is the pink. So she's a charm magic plus a... What's the music? I'm missing one. Maybe? Am I just going crazy? I think I am. I think I am going crazy. Wait. There's just 4. What's this music symbol? Is that one of the expansion dice? Or expansion magic type? I remember really liking her. I thought she was a lot of fun. The another interesting thing about the game, yeah, that's the sympathy magic. Cool. Well, that's really cool that they have made it so that the core set ties in and can mess with some of the expansion stuff. Exhaustion tokens are not limited to 1 per unit. However, in the recover phase, you remove 1 exhaustion unit per card, and so there are going to be cards that will place an exhaustion token on a card, and if it already has an exhaustion token, then it's 2 rounds before it can be used again. Just notice that symbol is connected to another symbol, means you can choose. Yeah, okay, so this one says or. But I remember I saw that in the rule book. There's symbology of there's some symbology that you can choose. You don't have to have any expansions to play that card. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Yep. So the exhaustion tokens, that's why this card, the refresh card, can be really powerful. You remove all exhaustion tokens from a target unit. So you can either play that to double activate in a round. So if you activate a card, it has an exhaustion token, doesn't have any abilities, it's exhausted, you can't use it. You can use that to ready up and use it again. So like your snakes, if they are swinging for like 4, that can be pretty powerful. Or if someone's hit you with a couple of, spells, and they've placed a couple of exhaustion tokens on your snake, and it's going to be 2 rounds before it gets back, then you can use that to remove all of the exhaustion tokens and not wait around. Okay, let's look at Jessa. I remember I didn't really enjoy Jessa. She seemed mean. And so I think she'll be someone that I enjoy more in a cooperative nature, but she's very, from what I remember, you can't do that. You can't do that. Also, Viper has a spell board of 5. She can have 5 spells on the table and a battlefield of 4. So she can have 4 units on the battlefield. So Jessa has a battlefield of 4 and a spellboard of 4 with 19 health. FYI, Elder Scrolls hit $2 million yesterday. That is insane. That's what, 7 pledges? 7 people pledged and hit 2 million? No. It looks really good. It's just expensive. Make this look a little bit prettier. There we go. Nice. So Jessa has Scream of the Departed. Once per turn, after a unit is destroyed, you may spend 1 basic magic to do 1 damage to a target Phoneixborn. And then her special card is Fear, which is an action spell. So it's similar to Cole. It's an action spell. And it's 1 basic magic. Destroy a unit you control. If you do, remove wound tokens from your Phoneixborn equal to the destroyed unit's recover value. Then discard a target unit an opponent controls. That seems really good. That seems really strong. Where you can destroy a unit you control, heal, and then almost 7,000 backers. That's super impressive. That's awesome. And then discard a target unit and opponent controls. Yeah, she's so like anti-tech. Blood transfer, ready spell, deal 2 damage to a unit you control. If you do, you can remove 2 wound tokens from another unit you control, or 1. So just like, oh, the blood puppet. The blood puppet. Place a blood puppet in a target player's battlefield. Where are my blood puppets? Yeah, the blood puppet. So you place this in a opponent's battlefield. And so this is Cursed 1. At the end of the round, place 1 wound on your Phoneixborn. And self-inflict. It's a side action, 1 dice to deal 1 damage to this unit. And it has 2... it has a 2 life. And so it's taking up a spot of your opponent's battlefield. I don't actually know how this works in the PvE environment. I'm sure that they have ways to mess with that. So yeah, it looks like she does a lot of damage to units that she controls. I wonder if... Living Doll is just out there with a high life. She can move 1 wound token to the target Phoneixborn, but she's just there to allow you to deal damage and activate all your abilities. The Blood Shaman. When this unit is destroyed as a result of a spell, ability, or dice power you control, you may remove 1 wound token from your Phoneixborn, then raise 1 die in your active pool to 1 level. So she's very like manipulative in her own dice and in her cards. Bloodshot, place 1 unit on this unit to deal 1 damage to a target unit. Blood Archer is insane. 3/3/2. Oh, and then she is Ceremonial and Charm. She's a Ceremonial Charm combo. Final Cry. Play this after a unit you control is destroyed. Deal 2 damage to target Phoneixborn. So she's trying to kill herself. How's it going? Hey, 7cent. How you doing? Really good. Yeah. The really enjoying looking through these cards. I'm having some big nostalgia and I'm excited to play. But we're looking at Jessa now. Undying Heart. This unit now is the following ability. Okay, so here's an alteration spell. This is what we were talking about earlier. Alteration spell. So you attach this to a specific unit. The unit now has the following ability. When this unit is destroyed, if it's an ally, you can place it into your owner's hand, and it gives that unit +1 life, +1 recover. So that's pretty sweet. So freaking cool. Just such a cool system. Aradel here likes all of her allies, or all of her conjurations on the field. The Blood Archer is so good. Yeah, it's insanely good. Also, one thing that I may have mentioned, but I don't actually know if I did. If you are exhausted, or if a unit is exhausted, it is considered not to have any abilities. And so, like, if you have exhausted the Blood Archer, you cannot use that ability to deal a damage to a unit. So we got Aradel, 8 battlefields. She can have 8 units on the battlefield, which is insane. 16 and 4. Water Blast, side action, exhaust her, spend 1 middle nature magic, deal 2 damage to a target unit. Actually, also, Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that the backs were that. Each dice has a side action that their top tier can do. And so, like, if your charm magic, it is top is a snake, you can place this dice on a target unit an opponent controls without a charm dice on it. When this dice is on a unit, its attack value is reduced by 1. And then at the end of the round, you place it in your exhausted die pool. So each one of these has an ability that is always a side action, at least with these 4 magic types, that if you roll that highest symbol or you meditate into it, you have the ability. So like nature magic is one toad. Where's my toad? To deal 1 damage to a target unit. Aradel, blue jaguars. So the blue jaguars summon has gaze. When this unit is declared as an attacker, you can choose a target unit an opponent controls. That unit cannot block or guard for the remainder of the turn. That's cool. So you can basically say, I'm not going to let that unit defend. I love the art. It's so good. This is her signature card. You can have 2 of these on the battlefield. We got the Mist Spirit. Oh, I remember the Mist Spirits. So place a Mist Spirit conjuration onto your battlefield. You can spend an additional basic magic when activating the spell to place an additional Mist Spirit. And so when you spend this, you get these Mist Spirit, which are just 1/1 units, and you can just flood the field with them. But since damage doesn't roll over unless you have the overkill keyword, then they can just block. For your Phoneixborn, they cannot block for a unit because they don't have that unit guard ability. But it's just, that's really funny. The Butterfly Monk. Oh yeah, unit guard. So here's one with unit guard. So that unit guard ability means that she can step in front and take a hit for another unit. Any conjuration or ally can take a hit for your Phoneixborn. She can take a hit if you are targeting another unit. And then Mend 1. When this unit is destroyed, you can remove 1 token from a target unit or Phoneixborn. And then she's over here changing dice, dealing damage. Just, it's so pretty. It's just so pretty. Oh, here you go. Place 2 exhaustion tokens on a target unit. So if you have a target unit on the opponent's battlefield, you can, if it's already exhausted, place 2 or even if it's not, you place 2 exhaustion tokens on the target unit, and you remove 1 every turn. So you've got a long time before that unit becomes able to do anything again. Oh, deal X amount of damage to a target unit, where X is the number of units you have in play. So flood the battlefield and just deal an absurd amount of damage. Oh yeah, I remember Massive Growth. This spell can only be attached with a unit of an attack value of 2 or less. This spell cannot be affected by an atonement spell. And then at the end of the round, so after both players have passed, you discard this card, but it's a +4 attack, +4 life. Throw this on like those Mist Spirits are hilarious. This unit, after this unit is dealt damage, prevent 1 of the damage. So you throw this on your like Butterfly Monk. So you can start to see all the synergies just within the precons. And the precons I think are really well done, because I don't think that they had the same philosophy that like Marvel Champions did. Not saying anything wrong with that, but where they wanted to print cards that could be used very effectively and across multiple different decks, where you have some of these, but I think they focus more on making the precon very playable, and they're not going to throw 3 copies of Boot Camp in a precon when you can only have 1 of them on the table under your control. But they wanted to give you the 3 copies so you could build it. So I don't see myself constructing for a while. I do love deck construction, so I may have just lied through my teeth there, but here we are. So we got Noah Red Moon. Battlefield 7, 16 health, spellboard 4. And shadow target, choose a target opponent and place 1 exhaustion token on an unexhausted ready spell they control. Gross. Gross. He's got the Masked Wolf summon. This is his special. Masked Wolf is a conjuration. Attack 2 and 1. And if you spend any number of top tier dice to activate the spell, you can take an additional side action this turn. What is really interesting here, you can have 5 of these, but in order to summon Mask Wolf, also to play Mask Wolf, it's a side action. And it's not a so you can summon and attack. Is this to play solo? Yes, Magic Moose Moo. It is. They just put out the Red Reigns expansion, which is a solo 2-player cooperative expansion. And so it took the PvP version of the game and translated it into a player versus environment. And right now, what I did is I bought. They have a combo or a box deal on Plathead's website. I don't actually remember how much it was, but it's a discounted rate right now to buy these together, and so that's what I did. We can summon the False Demon. Nightmare 1, when this unit comes into play, you can deal 1 damage to a target exhausted unit. Oh, that's kind of fun. That's cool. 2/2, 0. You can have 2 of these guys. Small Sacrifice, deal damage to a target unit on your battlefield. If you do, deal damage to a target on the other battlefield. The Stormwind Sniper, I remember this guy. Ambush 1, when this unit comes into play, you may deal 1 damage to a target Phoneixborn. This unit cannot be targeted by attacks, spells, abilities, or dice power an opponent controls, and it's a 2/1/1. So now you could kill this if you blocked and countered. And so it cannot be targeted by attacks, but it can be targeted by counters. So if the Stormwind Sniper attacks, you can have someone step in. He only has 1 life, and so you can deal that damage simultaneously. So what we would do is we would try and hang out until there was nobody to block. So you could have the Stormwind Sniper come in and hit. Reaction spell, you can play this spell after a unit you control is destroyed. Place 2 Sleeping Widow conjurations onto the battlefield. Oh, gross. I don't like that. 2/1. 2/1. You got 6 of these. Dislike that art a lot. Fade away. Search your ally search your discard pile for an ally and place it into your hand so you can bring allies back. Draw 3 cards. It appears FFG announced a new Marvel game today. Interesting. We're gonna take a quick second to just look at that. So we're gonna look at Fantasy Flight Games homepage. Dagger Marvel board game. Huh. Interesting. This feels like the Marvel United answer. The counter to Marvel United. I'll have to take a look at that. Resummon. Destroy a conjuration you controlled and place that conjuration onto your battlefield. So, can be really crazy, especially with like these guys who have abilities when entering play abilities. Incredible. And then our last one that we are going to be taking a look at today is Surya. She has a battlefield of 5, a 20-point health, and spellboard of 4. Her heart pull is a side action exhaust and 1 heart dice. You can draw a card. If you do, you can choose a target player to discard 1 card off the top of their draw pile. Now, this is a game where you can deck yourself out. I believe you start taking damage to your Phoneixborn if you cannot draw your cards. You do not reshuffle. And hopefully JS can confirm or deny that. You think I'd be good at opening cards? I've done it so many times at this point in my life, right? Oh my goodness. But no. I always have the hardest time. Hey, Lucas, how's it going? How are you doing today? Okay, finally. Jeez. Okay, so she has as her ability. Nelson, say that last part again. If you deck out, you don't ever shuffle your discard pile back into your deck, and whenever you withdraw, you would take damage to your Phoneixborn. I believe that is the rule. And so, like, mill is a strategy in this game. So the Seaside Raven, I do. Someone on Discord said, you got to be kidding. Daredevil's in Incredible. I love it. That makes me so happy. I mean, like, very sad, but like at this point it's just funny. Exactly. Okay, thank you, JS. So summon Seaside Raven, 3 basic die to place a Raven. The Raven Prey 2, when this unit comes into play, you can destroy another target unit with a life value of 2 or less. Insane. While this unit is attacking, it deals this damage before units in battle with it. So typically damage is dealt simultaneously. Seaside Raven has that quick strike ability where it can deal damage and kill before. Very, very powerful. We got the 3-eyed owl. 0/2/0. Choose a target player to discard one card of their choice from their hand. Ugh. She seems mean. Discard 1 card from the top of their deck. All players draw up to 2 cards. For each card they cannot or do not draw, deal 1 damage to their Phoneixborn. So this is mean. Because you can just have someone, you can mill someone out and then just have someone take so much damage. Ouch. Enchanted Violinist. So deal 1 damage to a target unit an opponent controls. If that destroys the unit, they discard a card from the top of their draw pile. Wow. Place 1 exhaustion token on a target unit. That's mean. So you can exhaust her to exhaust someone else. Insane. Hidden power. Draw 1 card. Change 5 dice in your active pool to a side of their... That seems really good. Play a spell after 1 or more wound tokens are placed on your Phoneixborn as a result of an attack, spell, ability, or dice power. Deal 2 damage to target unit. Oh, I remember this being interesting. Choose a ready spell on a target player's spell board. Place 1 exhaustion token on the chosen spell, and on each other copy of the chosen spell on that. Oh, geez. So yeah, you can sit here and take out someone's summon ability. I will be interested to see how a lot of these play in the PvE environment, because I don't know. I think there are maybe spells. I'm not quite sure how that plays. And when you're going up against the Chimera. Sweet. So those are the 6 Phoneixborn. Really, all like really interesting and different. And so I'm excited about that. Let's go ahead and unbox this Red Rains expansion. Take a look at that, and then we'll go ahead and get a game in. So if there's any of these that you are more interested in seeing, I am excited to play any of them. So let me know what y'all want to see. We'll play a game. We got the Red Rains. They did an excellent job implementing all the mechanics into Red Rains. Okay, cool. Oh, it does come with the Phoneixborn. I don't think I realized that. Cool. So this is Briang Black Cloud. Battlefield 5, Spellboard 3. Side action. Spirit Burn. Destroy a unit you control to deal 2 damage to a target Phoneixborn. Because it comes with 1 playable deck. It comes with 4 additional copies of already released Phoneixborn. Oh. Because it comes with 1 playable deck. That's interesting. Okay. And here I am. I'll just sit here and pick at this for a while, and eventually we'll get it open. Fine. This is always the... There we go. Okay. So did it come with new cards? It comes with 4 unique cards for those Phoneixborn. Very cool. Very, 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 very cool. And so 4 additional copies of the already released Phoneixborn. And so, okay, so there's nothing that there's no difference between these. So Change of Heart. Change of Heart is Brennan's ability. The spell can only be attached to an unexhausted Phoneixborn. You cannot activate your Phoneixborn's ability. As a exhaustion, choose an ally you control and place it into your hand to deal 1 damage to a target unit an opponent controls. The playable deck is all new cards. Very cool. That's really cool. And then playtime. So this is for Jessa. And so do you like choose one of these, or can this only go in Jessa's deck? This expansion is centered around ceremonial magic. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And then, okay, so it has like additional cards for each of the Phoneixborn. So you can mix and match between the new and the old. You can have a total 3 of their unique. That's so freaking cool. That's so cool. So summon Bone Crow. The unit was destroyed this turn. Place a Bone Crow conjuration onto your battlefield. Chant of Transfusion. Oh, this guy looks insane. The Calamity Golem. When this unit is declared as an attacker, deal damage to a target unit the opponent controls equal to the number of wound tokens on this unit. It's a 3/5/0. That's sick. Old Salt. When this unit comes into play, place 1 wound token on it. When this unit comes into play, you may deal 1 damage to another target unit. Because it's a 2/3/1, so it will heal. Blood Puppeteers. Blood Brawl. Okay, that's really cool that they did that. More blood puppets. That's really, really cool that they did that. Cool. Okay, yeah, I was so I said earlier in the video that these did not come with playable characters. I was very incorrect on that. I just want to let you know that you are the worst. I would have so much more money if it weren't for you and Jason. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Someone could only buy Red Rain's expansion and some ceremonial dice and play right away without the master set. That's awesome. That's really cool. That's really cool. And so is this Phoneixborn their deck a mono ceremonial, mono black die, or mono black deck? It looks like it. And it looks like everything is like a mid-tier die, so that's kind of interesting. Like there's mid or low tier die. It's like you don't really need the high rolls. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Red Rain's rulebook. We don't need that. Chimera rulebook. Okay, so it does come with the tokens as well. Very interesting. So it comes with tokens. It has 10s and 20s because the chimeras are going to have more health. But then we will need these shard tokens. We'll talk about that here in a second. Let's go ahead and open up this board, and we can talk about the anatomy of the board and talk about how the cooperative experience happens. Also note there are 6 copies of the last card. There are 6 copies of that last card that form the deck you just had. This guy? Oh, wait. Draw 1 card, remove 1 moon token from a target Phoneixborn, raise 3 dice in your active pool 1 level. Can I have 3 of these in my... Enough for both players to use? Awesome. That's so cool. That's so cool. I really like Plaid Hat just as a company. I feel like they always think of everything. And they're just... Yeah. I'm very happy with Plaid Hat. So... Okay, so we've got 100%, yeah. So this is what the board looks like for the PvE. These come out. Nice. So there's going to be a unit deck that is controlled by the Chimera. Let's go ahead and get the Chimera out of here. Unleash the Chimera. I really hope that this is very successful because it looks really cool, and this would be a game I would fully support going forward. So I'm hoping that we get to see more of these Red Rains. I guess JS, maybe you have a better understanding of this. Red Rains, as far as I understand, is the name of the type of expansion. So like the cooperative mode is Red Rains, and then this expansion is specifically called the Corpse of Viros. And so there will be multiple other Red Rains. I believe you're right. Okay. There will be multiple other Red Rain expansions. They will be called something different. Okay. So here's the Chimera that we're going again. The Chimera is the Corpse of Viros, yeah. Which is where Noah is from. Oh, okay. Okay. Noah. Cool. So what's nice is that they have one player, the backside is 2-player. You have standard, standard 2, standard 3, heroic 1, heroic 2, and heroic 3. So based on how good you are, you can choose different. We will play on standard 1 just because we want to learn the game. But the Chimera goes here. It has a threat of 4 and an ultimate 3, which it's always an ultimate 3 and the threat of 4. I don't quite remember exactly what that is. Standard 1 forever for me. Amen, Beast No, right? It has 30 health, so you win by reducing the Corpse of Viros down to 0 health. Their deck is made up of these cards. What you do is you'll have this here, and then you will have the behavior deck, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 to go here. And then the ultimate will go here. But I don't think that the ultimate is out right now. Fatigue goes at the bottom of the deck, so if you mill out the Chimera, same rules, it has different fatigue cards. So the behavior on the Chimera's turn, you'll roll all 6 of these dice. Actually, I'm sorry. No, you'll roll. These will be sitting here on their basic side. You will roll the D12 and one of the D6s. If it comes up with the shard, you lock the shard in, and once it gets to 6, it gets one of these red shards. Once it gets 3, which JS, I may need your help here. Once it gets 3, it unlocks its ultimate power, and then this is going to be just worse abilities going forward. How about instead of a new $80 Marvel game, FFG recreates Game of Thrones or Legends of Five Rings and turns it into a solo capable LCG? That'd be cool. Give me Star Wars. I would. Exactly. Sweet. Okay. What is threat 4? What is threat 4? I can look at the rule book here in a second too. If it's too much to type, just tell me to look at the rule book. So once you place these red shard tokens out, you level up the ultimate. It's gonna get harder. It's gonna get harder. That's the number of units. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So we'll take these shard tokens, and so we go there. If you roll a basic side die, it goes here, and then you look at this number. This number is going to dictate exactly. No, you're not talking too much. Please do not. The icons at the bottom are starting setup board. Cool, because I was gonna look at that I was gonna look at that. You are absolutely not talking too much. It's very helpful. I like a DC LCG. Jason said Pokemon when I asked him. I think one involving old mythological gods would also be fun. Disney LCG would be fun. Could be. Well, they're coming out with Lorcana. It's not a LCG. It's a TCG. But they're gonna have Lorcana. So you roll the 8, you come to the behavior card. 8 tells you 7 through 9. Target opposing player must lower 2 non-basic dice in their active pool, and then they reveal. So you're going to have a deck. This is going to say you're going to have 2 or 3 of these and a level 1. There right now, I think there's only level 1 and level 2. And so you will lay these out in this order. You will reveal left to right. If you cannot reveal, they will attack. So you will reveal this card. Now it's a enemy that you can fight, and that is attack 1, life 2, blood 1. That means that when you destroy this, it's equal to the level of the card. That damage gets placed on the Chimera. So if I destroy Stormcall, I do deal a damage to the corpse of Vyros. If I can also just attack the corpse of Vyros if I wanted to, but I also probably want to kill off the Stormcall. One of the ways that the AI targets your characters is you will play from left to right on your spell board. And so whenever you are playing a unit, so let's say we have Aradel here. Whenever we play a unit, let's find a unit. Why can't I not find units? I picked her deck because she had so many. You will play here. The next unit that you will play will be played to the right of your previous unit. Every single monster will tell you where they were targeting based on this icon. Right here, this says that when the Stormcall attacks, it will attack your rightmost unit. In this case, it will be the Mist Spirit. This one is also rightmost. Okay, that was a bad example. This symbol, if it's in the middle right here, that means that it's going to be attacking your Phoneixborn. And then there's a symbol for this will attack the right or the leftmost unit on your battlefield. So there is going to be some level of spatial awareness of this game as well, where you want to play when you want to play some of your units, so they can, if you are set up so that you have this, your middle unit is protected. I mean, they can kill and then kill, but it is one step removed from protected. So that's a really interesting way and an interesting mechanism to add into the game. Yep. So, and then this behavior 1, behavior 2, behavior 3 JS. When do I upgrade to the different behavior levels? That's a question I have. And then the ultimate phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So like this one says, after placing a red range token on the Chimera, if there are red range tokens equal to or greater than the Chimera's ultimate value, resolve the following. So ultimate 3, remove 1 red range token from the Chimera equal to its ultimate value. Discard all cards on the Chimera's battlefield that it does not own. Deal 1 damage to all units and Phoneixborn the Chimera opponent controls. Remove the top card of the behavior card from the game. Oh, there it goes. Okay. When the ultimate triggers. Perfect. Thank you. Nice. And so this will level it up and it'll get stronger. And so as you are ramping, the Chimera is also going to be ramping with you. Yep. So whenever you I want to, at the recovery phase, you recover as normal, remove exhaustion, exhaust dice as normal. Red Reigns, place 1 Red Reigns token on the Chimera for each aspect in play. So if you have a unit left on the battlefield at the end of the round when you are going to recover, you place a token, not a dice, a full token. And so you want to be killing off their units. And exhausting it or the Chimera will help you. Also very important to note, the ultimate card is a ready spell. Okay, yeah. So all those cards that will target ready spells, now we're... Okay. Thank you. Yes, I would have missed that. It is a ready spell. Okay. So all those cards place an exhaustion token on an opponent's ready spell, exhaust the ultimate. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. I was wondering how they were going to implement that, and that's really well done. Yeah, I like that. Replenish aspects. Add 1 face down aspect card to the Chimera's battlefield until each battlefield has a unit value equal to its threat. And so we'll fill this back out. Replenish status tokens. the end of the round, the first player passes to the Chimera, winning and losing. Chimera has a number of wound tokens on it is greater to equal than his life value. The players win the game, and then if we die, we die. There's also a campaign, and so this may be something that I look at some point, but we're not going to start the campaign. But this will be. I mean, there's going to be a lot here, and this is just one. I'm so happy that they included a deck of playable cards, because one of the things that I was slightly concerned about, and I was like, maybe it's just because it's the first one to get you all the new dice and everything. I was like, it's a little bit above the price point that I would expect for one villain. And I was like, okay, but I get the dice and all of that, but adding an entire another Phoneixborn deck in there, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's great. That's perfect. Let's go. Also, the side actions on his behavior are considered dice powers, so Golden Veil and Viper deck can cancel it. Okay, awesome. Okay, so which Phoneixborn do we want to go for? We got Cole, we have all the ones that we just unboxed. I would prefer not to do Black Cloud, just because I am interested in doing a dual color deck, just so we can get exposure to 2 different colored dice rather than the mono deck. I will play Black Cloud at some points, but I do want to, just as the first play, get exposure to that two of the dice powers. And so if we keep it in the core, which, oh yeah, Ardell, then let's do that. So we got 6 to choose from, and if there is not necessarily, if nothing jumps out to anybody, JS, is there one that works better for maybe a first playthrough, that if I miss a ton of rules, it's not the end of the world? But I'm gonna go to be right back. Throw that stuff up in the chat. If we don't get anything in the chat, we'll pick randomly, and we will sleeve these before we play, and then we'll dive in and play the first game of Red Reigns. So I'll see you all soon. I'm going to clean up a little bit, and let me know what you want to see played. Peace.